Alright guys, let's take a look at this. Final exam. Well, we're going to do the same thing that we did on the midterm. Let's take a look at it together. We see that there's a GIF file, or GIF, depending on how you like to pronounce it. And there's an instructions. Let's go ahead and open the instructions. That's the instructions for the Vine document that was giving me some confusion. Alright, and we need this file called window, which I'm just going to copy and paste into it rather than do the place that the instructions kind of say. So here's what it wants us to do first. Create an action script document, make it 540 by 435. So new document, 540 by 435, create. Now I need that document. I'm going to open the window file. I'm going to copy it. You can do it however you like. You can save it and then do a place or import to stage, however you want to do it. Alright, it's there. I'm going to lock it. Now I'm going to make another layer called mask. So let's make another layer. So with the plus sign, make a new layer, call it mask. Not ask, mask. And what am I going to do? I'm going to make it look like this. So I'm going to turn ball in a box off for this painting because there's a little bit of funny stuff I want to do here around the corner. So I might draw the rectangles and then use the eraser to see if I can erase that around the corner there. And it looks like there's some window area up here too that I can mask out just like this stuff. So I may be adding a third layer of objects, this thin strips there. Alrighty, so I need the rectangle. I'm going to make sure ball in a box is deselected. So I don't want the gray around it. I want it to be white. That's a stupid indicator in my opinion that it's not on. So I'm going to select frame 1 of the mask layer. Let's zoom in a little. Looks like I'm doing it more carefully than this, right? Because there's actually this right here. So I'm more awesome than the instructions are. How about that? I really wanted them to be green though. Can I make them all green? If I change the fill to the same color as the stroke right now? Yeah, that's better. Alrighty. Do the same over here. Oh, and like I said, why not? Now let's see if I can erase that there. So I'm going to grab the eraser tool and just erase around the corner here. That's probably good enough. And why don't we save it? Alrighty. Onward and upward. What's the next step? Since this is going to be the mask, we want to combine and union it. So I'm going to select everything, Control A or Command A, modify, combine objects into union. Okay. The next step is going to be to add 2 items to the library. We need to create 2 movie clips. We're going to make two movie clips, one called Text 1 and one called Text 2, and they just have some text on them. Any text we want. So, insert, new symbol. I'm going to put this text animation. Well, that's just the title, isn't it? So text 1, let's put some text down on it. Is that a little bit too big? Why, as it is. Let's lower the size. Animation. That's kind of hard to see. Maybe change the color to red. Maybe add a drop shadow. So I'm going to come over to Properties and click Filter. Hit the plus sign on Filters and choose Drop Shadow. I can't say that made it too easy to read. I better lower the strength of the drop shadow so it's not so sharp. Maybe I need to stretch this out. Choose Free Transform. Stretch it out a little. Alright. So, that's my T1 layer. I'm going to put it over here so it's centered on the crosshairs just because. Now let's go to T2. We need a text 2. I'm calling it a layer. These aren't layers yet. These are just objects in the library. They're movie clips. So insert new symbol. Call it text 2. It's also a movie clip. I'm just going to paste the last one that I had and edit its text with the text tool. Is awesome. That's what that one's going to say. Now the instructions say something about making it look different than the first one, so why not? Let's make it blue instead of red. So we have two objects, right? We have text 1 and text 2. We need two layers for these objects. So I'm going to click on this arrow, or however you like to get back to the main layer, because we don't want to add anything to this timeline anymore. Let's come back. I mean, I guess we could come up here and we are going to add two layers, call them T1 and T2. T1 and T2. Doesn't really matter which order they're on. On frame 1 of the T1 layer, drag your text 1 symbol out onto the stage. On frame 2 of the T2 layer, drag the text 2 symbol out onto the stage. Alright, so I'm going to mask both the mask and the layer 1 here. Probably told me to rename layer 1 window or something like that. Let's make our T1 and T2 layers. There's T1. There's T2. What's my window size set at? Good, nice and small. Alrighty, easy for you to see, I hope. So, on frame 1 of the T1 layer, I'm going to drag out text 1. And on frame 2 of the T2 layer, I'm going to drag out text 2. I accidentally double-clicked it. That was not my goal. Right. Maybe you can guess what's going to happen. When we turn the masking on, we're not going to be able to see anything of these words except for what the mask reveals. All right, now we need to lock those layers, and we're going to go out to frame 100 and insert keyframes. So lock those two layers, go to 100, insert keyframes. Not regular frames, keyframes. All right, now I've got keyframes on them. Unlock T1 and right-click a frame of the T1 layer and create a motion tween. Right-click again and make it a 3D tween. If you don't know how to do a 3D tween, we didn't do one in class, so the option is grayed out. Forget that and just make a motion tween. And then move or rotate the object. Go to properties and make the text rotate once. Alrighty. So I kind of wish I made it a tween rather than a motion tween when I said that, because it'd be easier to control it going by the window, right? It would just zip by the window if we so chose. So I'm going to unlock layer 1, which is the one that says animate. And like I said, I kind of wish that I had just made it go like that. And let's see if we can do that. I'm going to start it off over here and then right click on it and do create motion tween. And I'm going to right click on it again and do, where's the create 3D motion tween option? Well, I guess I right click on the layer itself and choose 3D tween. Yeah, now we're good to go. Alright, I was having a little bit of glitch here. Let's try it again. Move this way over here. Oh, I've got the motion tween on it. I wanted to get the motion tween off it. Alright, once more with feeling. Move it way over here. Right click on the frame, on the layer, and choose create motion tween. Go to the last frame. See, I accidentally inserted a motion tween there when I dragged it and I didn't mean to. So I'm going to undo that there. But it's still motion tweened. I've got that sickly green color. So I'm going to go to the last frame and move it to the other side. That didn't seem to do the trick, did it? What if it was the second last frame? Now it's gone entirely. What, did I delete it? Alright, so it's going to go zipping by. Like that. But I could also make it rotate if I wanted to. Maybe it's too small. Maybe I should have made it smaller. Because if I make it rotate, it's going to be hard to see. If I go to frame 1 and choose the object and choose free transform, can I make it smaller? I think so. Yeah, I think that'll be better. But I wanted to throw a rotate in on it. So I'm going to click on this motion tween layer and go to properties and tell it to rotate once clockwise as it moves. It's going to be hard to see. Once we cut it out the windows, yeah, maybe it'll be okay. And if we want to, we can modify with the 3D parts of it as well. I'm going to leave that alone. Maybe come back to it. So do the same thing for T2. Make it a 3D tween, make it rotate once counterclockwise. Alright, so lock T1. I also want this to start off maybe over here. Unlock T2, drag it over here. I'm going to make it smaller as well. Okay. Right click, insert a motion tween. Right click and make it a 3D tween. Go to the end not 100, but 99. If I pick 99 and then drag it across, that creates a motion tween, right? And so if I then use the black cursor to click off and then back on, I could add some, well, it's not letting me do the, see what it's supposed to do? When I move the cursor close, I'm supposed to be able to, there it goes, right? Okay, that's just for fun as well. And so as it rotates, so I'm going to click on somewhere in the T2, make it rotate counterclockwise, count of 1. Okay, how's it look now? Alrighty. What's next? So every 10 frames or so, adjust the position or rotation of the text 1 layer and do the same for text 2, just to make the animation a little bit more interesting. I don't think we need to really do it every 10 frames, but how about every 20? Just unlock them. Guess they are unlocked. And move them a little bit, right? Then maybe on 40. And maybe on 60. Maybe on 80. I'm going to rotate it more. There. All right, let's see how it looks. I think I messed up the animation of the rotation of the top one, but yeah, it does a little flip there at the end. That's all right. I think it'll look cool behind the windows anyways. All right, now when you're satisfied, drag the T1 layer under the mask layer and then right-click the mask layer and choose mask. So T1 now goes under the mask layer and then right-click on the mask layer and choose mask. So that text shows up, see? Animation is awesome. The blue text looks kind of dumb getting to be mega big on the back side, last frame, but whatever. Let's see what that looks like. I kind of like it. It's kind of silly, isn't it? Alright guys, I've been puzzling over why I do not have the 3D rotate symbol. Hey kitty cat, thanks for meowing. So, what I'm looking for is this symbol right here, the little planet. It's called the 3D rotation tool. And it should have been right here. It should have been here. And it's not, so I wasn't getting any of my 3D effects in that I wanted. So what I want is like somewhere like in frame 50, I don't know, of T2. I'm going to select the 3D rotation tool. So I just dragged it and dropped it so I can get a hold of it. And now I get this funny crosshair symbol, right? And with the cursor, well, choose it with the 3D tool again. I can flip it, right? See what I did? And so now it's got a 3D flip in it, right? And maybe on 60 or 80, I'll flip it back. About 70. I don't know how to flip it now. Having trouble getting it to flip the same way I did. Well, there. There. I just messed with it until it worked. But now it doesn't look flipped there. Oh, well. I mean, the point is just to make it move around anyways, right? There, now it flips, and then it kind of gets back, and it gets back. Okay, good enough. So now I have one more decision to make. Do I want the blue text floating around inside the room here while the red text is outside, or do I want them both outside? If I want them both outside, I just need to drag T2 so that it's indented under the mask layer as well. And now they're both outside. That's kind of cool, right? We're looking out the window and we see that. I don't like the last frame being that big, huge text, so I'm going to come to the very last frame of T2 and just try to get it out of the scene. Right there. All right. I could probably even delete it without messing the rest of it up. Yes, that's correct. Looks like that's the case. All righty. So just save that and give me the FLA and the SWF, and we'll be all good.